Up on Mountain News this morning, Utah's governor says his state will pursue a death penalty case against the person responsible for gunning down conservative activist Charlie Kirk. And a group of JROTC students from Letcher County Central High School honored the many lives lost on 9/11 24 years ago.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good Friday morning to you. I'm Caroline Mueller, and it is 6 a.m. on this September 12th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it was pretty warm when I walked out the door this morning. I'd say I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, the one day that I'm wearing a jumpsuit with legs and then a blazer.
You got the sleeves and everything, yeah.
I know, and it's not even that cold outside. And that's what many folks are probably going to be thinking as you're heading out the door to start off your Friday. Not too bad of a start to the day. Here's a look at those temperatures, a mixture of the mid to upper 50s. Now, it will be a little bit chillier as you're traveling into Virginia, 52 in Wise and Jonesville and 47 in Clintwood. And thankfully, those temperatures do warm up as you head into the afternoon. Looking at some summertime heat for your Friday. Low to mid 80s are in the forecast. And as you travel more to the west, we're looking at some chances for upper 80s today. Now, we'll continue to see the sunshine for all of today and into your weekend. So we're just going to continue on the dry trend. No change in the forecast there, but we are seeing a little bit of fog, especially as you travel on that Kentucky and Tennessee border and for some portions along the I-75. So make sure you are driving carefully as you are heading out the door. Caroline.
All right, Megan, thank you. Police in Perry County are investigating a drive-by shooting. Deputies say they received a complaint about the incident around 4 a.m. yesterday in the 10 Mile Creek Road area. A deputy said a vehicle parked at a home had 4 bullet holes in it, indicating that it was likely a drive-by shooting. No injuries were reported. A man has died after a crash earlier this week in Perry County. State police say it happened Monday afternoon on Highway 15 near Hazard. A pickup truck and a car collided head-on. Police say 78-year-old Roger Combs of Hazard was going north when he crossed into the southbound lane, hitting the car driven by 50-year-old Edward Goins of Sassafras. Combs was taken to Hazard ARH. Goins was flown to Johnson City Medical Center, where he later died. The search continues for 2 men in Pulaski County who went missing 3 days ago. Arthur Johnson and his neighbor Rich Webb went fishing Tuesday. Now the men and their boat are missing. Their truck and trailer were found at the ramp. Crews searched until late Wednesday night and continued yesterday with some divers in the water. At last check, there was still no sign of the men. Utah's governor says his state will pursue a death penalty case against the person responsible for gunning down conservative activist Charlie Kirk Wednesday at Utah Valley University. The governor says authorities have received more than 7,000 tips as the manhunt for the shooter continues this morning. Investigators are honing in on one particular suspect, releasing new surveillance footage and enhanced photos overnight.
He left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes.
The FBI has set up a tip line and is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and capture of the suspect. Many are still trying to make sense of what happened Wednesday when Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. The political activist was no stranger to the Bluegrass State. Kirk was on the University of Kentucky's campus in 2023 during his Live Free tour. His death is now the topic of conversation on many campuses. Carly Hogsden talked to UK students about what this means for the campus community.
I wanted to get in politics from a young age, and Charlie really affirmed that dream. And it's just a shame that I hate to see him go so early. He's had a huge impact on the youth.
UK student Alex Martha says Charlie Kirk was not just a conservative activist, but a role model. In the light of Kirk's death, UK students say social media posts from Gen Z users have been mixed, from calls for more gun control to offering thoughts and prayers to the Kirk family.
Regardless of what your views are, whoever I feel like this is just a time of mourning for him.
And these UK students tell me that they feel this death will not only spark conversation about the political climate on campus, but hopefully increase safety when speakers come to visit.
I mean, I feel safe here on a day-to-day basis, but when it comes to things like that, I definitely don't feel super great.
Sophomore Annie Roark says giving guest speakers space at indoor venues and increasing security measures on campus could help prevent something like this in the future.
I feel like if we were to have an event like this, as many police as possible, I feel like there's kind of only so much you can do.
Some students we talked to on campus say there was nothing that could have prevented the attack, but it could open the door for conversation.
Charlie's death will be remembered for sure, and the way it happened, I feel like there will be a lot more changes.
In Lexington, Carly Hogston, WKYT.
When Kirk visited UK on his tour in 2023, he led his debate inside the campus student center. Governor Andy Beshear also spoke about Charlie Kirk's death during yesterday's Team Kentucky briefing. Beshear didn't know Kirk, but called his death, quote, an incredibly violent moment. He said he hopes Kirk's death doesn't further divide Americans.
Anger doesn't help us heal. Anger doesn't help us make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And lashing out at groups of people cannot be the answer to creating a better Commonwealth and a better country.
Governor Beshear also wants to see leaders condemn the rhetoric that can lead to violent actions. Students at Hazard High School paused yesterday morning to honor the sacrifices made on September 11th, 2001. I was there and given the chance to show how the school brought together students, teachers, and first responders to remember the day and its impact. Students filed into the Forum in Hazard for a day of remembrance 24 years later. Though none of them were alive for the tragic 9/11 attack, they worked hard to put on this assembly, honoring first responders and remembering the lives lost.
They don't have that lived experience of the meaning that day had in our history, and they don't, necessarily know how that was a time of great strife, but also great unity.
The annual assembly, led by social studies teacher Patrick Hall, invited first responders to attend. Students also took a leadership role, playing and singing music, sharing a 9/11 timeline, and handing out coffee and donuts.
We're living today in a world that is still very much impacted by the days of 9/11. And so we use this assembly, and then of course we also use programming and instruction during our classes to demonstrate that to our students, that the world that we live in today is the world that it is in part because of what happened on 9/11.
Hazard Fire Chief Robert Keith was there. He says he remembers being in school himself on 9/11, saying the day remains a defining moment in American history.
You had 343 firemen killed. I can't remember the number of policemen, and then the civilians. I mean, it was probably one of the most life-changing events in the United States history.
Teachers say the assembly is about more than looking back. It's a chance to honor sacrifices and to make sure we never forget. Mayor Happy Mobilini and Judge Executive Scott Alexander were guest speakers at the event. School leaders say they plan to keep the tradition going every year so students continue to learn and remember. A group of JROTC students from Letcher County Central High School honored the many lives lost on 9/11 24 years ago. The students started at the VFW in downtown Whitesburg around 11:30 with their boots laced up and ruck bags on their back. The young men marched on Highway 15 all the way to the Isom Double Quick, making their trip around 12 miles long.
When 9/11 happened, there was a lot of patriotism in our country. Lots of people dropped everything they were doing, dropped what they were going on in their lives to enlist and to I guess, to show their patriotism for their country. And we're also just trying to feel what that was like and to show that patriotism.
The young men say they felt many people, especially the younger generation, do not fully understand the significance of 9/11, so they are hoping to bring awareness to this day in history.
As you are heading out the door this morning and into your Friday, here's what you need to know. It's a clear start to your day. Some folks are watching the fog, especially for our southern counties on that Kentucky-Tennessee border. All in all, though, it's not a bad day at all, as we'll continue to see those sunny skies throughout the next several hours. High temperatures for today will be in a mixture of the low to mid 80s, a little bit warmer than you'd expect for this time of year. That summer heat will stick with us throughout the day. High temperatures around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time frame, and again, nice and sunny skies. But if you're heading off to see the Cats tomorrow, they're playing Eastern Michigan, and that kickoff is 7:30 p.m. You'll notice temperatures in the low 80s at kickoff, and by the time the Cats win, we're looking at temperatures in the low 70s. Stay with us. More Mountain News and weather is on the way.
I'm Billy.